Akron Buzz, everyone. I'm your host, Sarah. Today I get to talk to Kevin Naughton. How are you, Kevin?
I'm good, thank you.
Kevin is a filmmaker. He did a docuseries called Inside Akron's Tent City. And then after that, he did another documentary called Doubled Up, which is the one we're going to talk about today. And it explores the issue of child homelessness within Akron Public School System. Mm-hmm. So tell us a little bit about the documentary.
Yeah, so it's exactly that. We explored the staggering numbers of students in Akron's public school system and throughout the country. In most major urban centers, the percentage of students in the student body that experience housing instability or actual homelessness, it is actual homelessness, is like anywhere between 10 to 20%.
Right.
And there's a variety of reasons why the numbers are that high or low, because they're difficult to identify, the services and supports aren't necessarily there to provide services for these children, so we just kind of explored that within Akron specifically.
Yeah, and I saw that it's way above the national average, but you were telling me that it's mostly like this in urban areas. Mm-hmm. And I did think it was so interesting that it's not just one reason why. It's everybody kind of had their own story, and so it's really difficult to pinpoint what we need to do.
Yes.
But as you explored that, were there some things that you found out that we could help as a community, as the Akron community here?
The first thing that always comes up whenever I say just the figures, that there's 2,400, at least 2,400 identified students within Akron's public school system that are experiencing homelessness every year.
Okay.
Housing insecurity, however you want to put it. People go, what? Really? So the main thing we can do is talk about it, learn about this. Everybody we talk to who works in Project Rise or any of these advocacy organizations for students who are experiencing housing insecurity, they all say we wish more people were aware of this issue. We're astonished that more people aren't aware of this issue. So talking about it and not just refusing to look away from this issue like we like to do with homelessness is the first step. You know, pretending it's a non-issue is not going to work.
Absolutely. So first step, talking about it. Project Rise, you just mentioned.
Yep,
Would that be a good second step, contacting them to figure out maybe a way that you could help?
Yes, they accept volunteers. They're a great resource to learn about it. Anytime anyone asks about them, they're like, yes, here's this information. Thank you so much for asking. They run great programming. It's a phenomenal organization. They do a phenomenal job. And the reason Akron's numbers are higher than a lot of places because Project Rise works so hard to identify those kids in the first place.
Okay.
There are some cities that have numbers as low as like 3%. They just don't have a program like Project Rise to identify those kids in the first place. So Akron's doing a phenomenal job to try to address this issue. We as a community should step up and help them though. Yeah,
absolutely. So tell me about the title Doubled Up. What does that mean?
So a lot of the students who are identified as homeless are in a situation that you would describe, they call it doubled up, where they don't have a stable place to live. They're moving from house to house to house to house, friends, family, coworkers, what have you.
Right.
And that makes them switch school districts a lot. So they end up really losing out on the educational opportunities that Akron Public School Systems offers.
Yeah.
Because imagine going from one school and you're learning like division or sometimes you can pick a random subject. You go to the next school, they're already past division and they're going back to something you already learned.
Right.
Then you got to go to the next school and they're past all that. And you're in the middle of another thing.
So they're not able to get consistent education.
Yes, and that affects things like standardized testing, that affects teaching methods. So what Project Rise works to do is make sure kids can stay within the same school so they get a proper education. And you know, it's a huge issue. So.
Yeah, it's a huge issue. And I love that you gave us a tangible thing so we can start educating people. Now that I know about it, I'm going to talk about it. And I can also send people to Project Rise if they're interested in finding out more about it. Tell me a little bit about how people could follow you or find you if they want to see this documentary. I know that you're going to be redoing parts of it because it was supposed to come out right before COVID.
Yeah, we had a big screening in Akron planned for, I think, April 28th of 2020. And I don't know if you remember what happened around then.
I definitely do. So I know everything kind of got shut down.
So we're looking at revamping it, trying to figure out how we can screen it. There's definitely a big chunk of the information that's missing now because of the pandemic. There's a whole new realm of issues that that it just feels like it's not being touched on. So we're looking at how we can try to update it and keep working to push the issue. But if anybody wants to see it and wants to screen it, they can contact me directly. We can set up a screening.
Perfect.
And you can go to kevinnaughton.com.
Great.
And
do you have social media?
I don't.
No social media, so just kevinnaughton.com. I love it. Okay, perfect. Well, thanks, Kevin, for sharing that. I think it's really important that we're just educating people. Thanks for being here today.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks, you guys, for being here with us today. We hope that you'll follow us on Facebook, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and make sure you check out our brand new Roku channel. We're going to be streaming live 24/7.